Learning from the Nishmas Etta Ahuva Basakim Maseches Temurah Perek Gimel Mishnah Dalet. So Mishnah Dalet is mamish part of Mishnah Gimel. At the end of Mishnah Gimel we had two oifanim. One was Temurat's Asham and Vlad Asham, so you weren't able to bring the carbon Asham itself. And the second one was Asham Shemeisu Bailov Shekipru Bailov, that you weren't able to bring the Asham itself. And we had a three machlekes in both cases. That the Tanakama held that you have to wait until it gets a and you sell it, and with the money you purchase it for nedavas. And the very similar shita to that was the third shita, was Rabbi Lazar, that said that with the money that you get, you bring carbon oilus. So this Mishnah is asking what's the chilik between those two shitas. The first case, the first Tana that held Yiplu Doma Lenedava is also an oila. So what's that different? Ma ben divrei Rabbi Lazar, who said yavi bedam of oila, to yiplu dam of l'nedava l'divrei chacham. Ella, the Gemara says bizman shehi ba choiva, because when Rabbi Lazar, the third sheet, is saying that you bring in oila, it's talking about that you can use the money to bring in oilas choiva. And over there is a bunch of nafkaminas. Number one, hu soymech aleha, there's smicha. Number two, maybe aleh nesachin unesachem mishaloi. The person who's bringing the carbon brings nesachim and from his own money. And number three, im hayakayin, if he was a kayin, avedasai va'oira shaloi, he would be the one that gets to do the aveda. It turned out in the Gemara Baba Kama Kuftes Mabez, and he would get to keep the hides of the animal. However, bisman shiba and the dava, according to the Tanakama that said that it's yiplu dama of l'nedava, and nedava meant the oilas sibur, that the sibur, when the mizbeach is not being used, there'll be makriv oilas on it. And over there, there's no smicha, any maybe nesachem nesachem mishel tzibur. The person doesn't bring the nesachem, rather the tzibur pays for the nesachem. And afal picha ukayin avedas avayir shel anshe mishmar, the kain does not have the right to do the aveda or keep the ar. Mishnah hey is moving on to the next carbon of Temurah and Vlad. So far in the parak we discussed Shlamim, Oila, and Asham, and carbon Taida. So now the Mishnah says Temurah's habachar v'hamaiser. A Temurah of a bachar, you say harezu tachazu on a bachar. Now the animal of Chulin has kedushas bachar, and by same thing by maiser behema. The Gemara, it's mavur that you're not makriv it itself as a bechar or a meiser, because the pasuk says lo yisifode kodesh heim, we darshan heim kravim ve'ein tmurasan kravim. We can't bring the tmura as a carbon itself. So the Mishnah says tmura is again bechar va'meiser vladan of vlad and atzay fayil narei elu ki bechar u'chameiser v'yechu b'muman lebaylam. Not linyan hakrav. We just said you can't be makriv, or rather when it gets a mum, then the owners could eat it. Just like Bechar Meiser, when it got a mum, the owners could eat it. So this carbon is unique from all the other ones that over here, when these carbonas have a mum, the halacha was always that it was Yechul B'Muman Le'Bailim. Ma'be Bechar Meiser L'Bein Kol HaKachim. And now the Mishnah teaches us something that we've had previously. We had it in Maseches Bechoros, Perek Hey, Mishnah Aleph. That what shekol hakodshim nikarim beitlas, you're allowed to be mezalzel in it to sell it. Psulei hamikdashim, you could sell it in the marketplace, even though it's a little zilzel of the kodshim, in order to get a higher price. Nishkatim beitlas, you could sell it over there in that marketplace. Nishkalim belitra, it could be sold by weight, and the reason is because over here the money goes to hegdish. That's what we said over there. That's what Rashi explains over here. Chutz min habachar v'hamaiser. And Bechar Meiser, since it goes to the Bailim, so we're not allow you to be Mizalzel Lekadshim, to sell it in the marketplace or to sell it by weight. Another nafkamina is what the pasuk says is Yeshlem pigeon, it's Marisei pigeon. By other Kadshim, you could be paid to them, Chutz min HaBechar u'min HaMeiser. By Bechar Meiser, the pasuk says that you're not allowed to redeem them. The Mishnah continues with a third nafkamina, Ba Mechutz La'aretz, other Kadshim could come from chutz la'aretz, chutz min habechar u'min hamaiser. But the Mishnah continues, even though by bechar hamaiser you're not allowed to do it, both mimim yikru, if you did do it, you could be makriv it, and balimumin yochel b'mumin l'baylam. So it's only l'chatchila, our Mishnah held that you're not allowed to bring bechar hamaiser from chutz la'aretz, Amar Reb Shimon Ma'atam, what's the reason for this? Shabachar ba'maiser yesh lehem parnasa b'mekayman, because Bechar and Meiser, if they had a mum, there was a takana in Chutz La'aretz itself, they'd be able to eat it over there, so there was no reason to bring it to Eretz Yisrael. But however, Shar Kol Kochim, Afal Pisha Neilu Be'mum, Hare Elu B'Ktushasim, by other mumim, by other Kochim, if they get a mum, it will have the halachos of Psulim Mikdashim, and it would have Kedusha, that you would have to be paida it and use the money as a carbon, so therefore, it's better to bring it to Eretz Yisrael. Now, the Gemara asks a kasha on our Mishnah. Our Mishnah seems to say that Bechor and Meiser is only lechatchila, that you have to bring it to Eretz Yisrael. However, there is a brisa that says that Ben Antignis hella Bechoris mi Bavel. Ben Antignis brought up his Bechor from Bavel, and they didn't accept it from him. So the Gemara says that that's the sheet of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva argues on our Mishnah, and he makes a drasha that it's similar to Meiser Dagan, and he darshans that Makom She'at Mala Meiser Dagan, which is in Eretz Yisrael, at the Mala Bechar, Makom She'at Mala Meiser Dagan, which is in Chutz La'aretz, Yat Mala Bechar. So he holds you're not allowed to bring a Bechar. Our mission is going like other Tanaim that hold that you could do it, but the Yevet and Chatchila you can't. What's the Makar that you can't do it? Chatchila, Taisus discusses it.